So you're thinking about moving to Norfolk, Virginia, and you want to know all things about the Hampton Roads real estate market? Well, today is your market update for June 8th, 2023, and we're going to get into it right after this. Welcome into the Moving to Norfolk channel, where we give you your market updates daily over here about what's going on in the Hampton Roads marketplace. We're going to get directly into what's going on out here in the marketplace. So let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get directly to what is going on. So let's start with what's going on across the marketplace overall in Hampton Roads, Virginia. There's been 219 new listings to date. And then back on the market, we've seen 9 homes come back on the market where they basically went under contract. And now they have already had some type of deals where they have fell through and came back on the market. Okay. Then we had 58 price decreases across Hampton Roads that was updated today. And we see 6 price increases as well too across Hampton Roads, with 116 pending sales. Okay. Now 116 pending is an astounding amount across Hampton Roads right now, because we'll get into a little bit of the details why that's important to see, because we're seeing 29 of those pending sales happen in Virginia Beach. But we'll talk about that a little bit more. We're seeing 70 homes get rented out across the marketplace. So people are still looking to rent single family homes or even townhomes or condos, things of that nature. We're still seeing those take place in the marketplace as well. And rent is not getting any cheaper across Hampton Roads. So definitely take that into account when you're looking at the number of transactions that's actually happened across Hampton Roads in this day. 626 transactions. 70 of those 626 were rented properties actually closing. Okay, so expired listings, we had 3 more listings come on the marketplace today as expired, so we'll see what happens with those. 32 homes withdrew their listing off the marketplace, and we had 6 actually fall through. Fall through means that the buyer in some form or fashion wasn't able to obtain financing. Okay, so now let's break down exactly by the 7 cities what is directly going on, and you'll see Virginia Beach is highlighted as 37 new listings. They had 100 transaction update today across the marketplace for Virginia Beach, but they had 37 new listings come across the marketplace today, which 37 out of the 219 listings, with Chesapeake not too far behind it with 33 listings. Those make up about 73 of the 219 listings in the marketplace that actually came on the market today. Now, you see there was only 1 back on market by over in Virginia Beach as well. We had 2 over in Hampton that would actually make up the mass amount of what was back on the market here. And then you'll see price decreases here. This is interesting as well, and we'll talk about this a little bit here as well too. We're going to talk about price decreases in this episode today, because the reasons why I think this is important to see is because I went through some of the listings that I saw today, and one of them I'm going to give you a use case on exactly how people need to be paying attention to what is going on in the market, and kind of just have that talk about psychology of pricing or sales, and how this is actually a more intimate game of actually making sure sales are done correctly when it comes to one of the most important assets in your life, your home. Okay, so we'll talk about that here in a shortly, but let's keep on going through the 7 cities. We've seen 24 pending sales in Virginia Beach as well too. Most of the transactions, that's the majority of the transactions taking place there. And then 29 sold listings recorded across the marketplace over in Virginia Beach. Now, when we talk about what's going on in Virginia as a whole, you'll see Norfolk came in with 16 new listings, 11 pending sales, and 10 sold listings as well too, making up most of their 45 transactions that they had across the marketplace. Chesapeake came in with 80 transactions updated today, which means they had 33 new listings, 5 price decreases, 17 pending sales, and 21 sold listings. Okay, this right here though was what I found a little surprising over in Chesapeake as well. They had 4 actual listings that withdrew off the marketplace right now. Still doesn't outweigh what happened in Suffolk with 7 withdrawals, which we'll talk about here shortly. 21 new listings and 4 price decreases, 7 pending sales, and 5 sold listings. Okay, now let's just stop right here and take a pause for a second as I sit here and I have a little bit of tea here as we talk. I'm gonna stop right here over in Suffolk and get to the highlights of the other half of the cities that we want to cover here with Portsmouth, Hampton, Newport News, and we'll even talk about multifamily homes here as well too. But let's just stop here for a second and talk about withdrawals, okay? Now, withdrawals do happen in the marketplace. Sometimes there are expires that happen in the marketplace, and let's give you a definition for both of those as well too. When a home actually expires, that means that the purchase or the standard listing agreement with the agent and the sellers of that home had a termination date that if this home does not sell or close by this transaction date, then the seller and the agent contract together to work together on the listing expires, which means that that property technically comes off the market as expired unless they agree to extend or agree to take it off the market and then relist the home as well too. That happens. Now, so Craig, what is a withdrawal? Well, a withdrawal is anything, and I think I talked about this a bit more, but I'm going to talk about it here more in depth right now, is that when and for any reason, whether the agent and the sellers don't get along, something happens in the life of the sellers where they don't necessarily need to sell the home anymore, or they just want to work with a different agent. All these things come into play. Withdrawals typically means they're coming off the marketplace for whatever reason it is, and they may be off the market for a few days, few days to a couple weeks, whatever, and then they go back on the market as well eventually if they decide to still want to list their property. Well, why am I bringing that up now? Because in Hampton Roads, we've seen 32 withdrawals. A lot of those withdrawals are not actual homes for sale. A lot of them are new constructions. Okay, and why is that something that we need to differentiate between? Okay. Yeah, that tea is good. So the reason why we want to differentiate between that is due to the fact that some new construction sites are not putting the homes, not even starting to build the homes until they have a buyer in hand, where they have a buyer in tow who signed the agreement and say, yeah, we see the plans, we agree with that, and yeah, proceed with building that lot for us for our future home. Some builders are just doing that, and that's what we're really seeing across the marketplace, where a lot of these withdrawals is they may have been on the market for a bit, and then they kind of see that no one is buying at the price, they take it off the marketplace, and then they actually relist it later on with a fresh listing and see if they can actually get buyers entertained to actually want to purchase those new construction lots to build new homes. I think that's important to note, because here's what I don't want to do. I don't want you to look at this media source that you're using us for as a resource to say that, okay, there's a lot of withdrawals going on in the market and there's a lot of expired listings in the market, or people are just not buying homes, yada, 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 without the clarification of understanding exactly what those numbers look like. Like over in Suffolk, like if you're just looking over here on our spreadsheet, if you're looking over at Suffolk, 7 of those withdrawals happening in that marketplace across Hampton Roads. Okay. Those 7 withdrawals, mass majority of those were actual new construction lots that have yet to either be built or still waiting for a buyer to decide that they want to build in that desired location. So I think that's an important designator that we need to make sure that we always talk about here. So comment down below. What is your thoughts on withdrawals? Like, do you think that withdrawals are hurting the marketplace, or do you believe that this can be a misconstrued number when you don't have the finer details of what withdrawals look like in the marketplace? So I'll be interested to know what your thoughts is on that. So let's keep on moving as we continue our march down to Portsmouth now. So over in Portsmouth, we had 33 transactions take place in the last day. 13 of those are new listings. 1 came back on the market. So it was actually went under contingency. And for some odd reason, one of the contingencies didn't hold and actually didn't follow through with, and the house is back on the market. 3 price decreases, 9 pending sales, 6 sold listings, and only 1 withdrawal off the marketplace. Okay. Over in Hampton, we had 31 transactions as well. 14 of those are new listings. 2 of them are back on the market, which that was the highest of the day from one location. Was over in Hampton. And then we had 3 price decreases, 4 pending sales, 6 sold listings, and 1 expiry and 1 withdrawal over in Hampton as well too. Then you have 33 home transactions took place today, updated transactions in Newport News, with 14 of those being new listings, 1 of those being back on the market, 1 price decrease, 11 pending sales, okay, and then 5 sold transactions with 1 withdrawal. Okay, so before we get into our recap on multifamily homes, this is where we're at with the 7 cities. Comment down below which city is more surprising to you with all the transactions that you've seen across the marketplace. Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk, Suffolk, out of those 4, because we had, like I said, let's look at the chart again. We had over 100 transactions take place in Virginia Beach, 45 transactions take place in Norfolk, 80 transactions in Chesapeake, and 46 transactions in Suffolk. Virginia Beach and Chesapeake definitely are responsible for 180 of the 626 transactions that took place in Virginia, in Hampton Roads over the last 24 hours. That's about 29% of transactions took place, or updated statuses took place in those 2 cities alone. Okay, so let's talk about multifamily. Okay, multifamily listings. And the reason why I like talking about those is because we have investors, we have people that reach out to the Moving to Norfolk team, and they are in the marketplace looking for a duplex, a triplex, a quadplex. And let me put a plug in right here, right now. As we do this, let me put a plug in as well for, let's see, question of the day. Did you know that you could actually purchase a duplex, a triplex, or a quadplex with a VA home loan? If you did not know that, that is one of the major tools that you can use, not only just to purchase a single family residential property with your VA loan. You can actually purchase an investment property with your VA loan. And I'm going into details with that a lot here on June 12th with my friend and fellow co-worker when it comes down to being a lender in the marketplace. Deanna Ashton will be talking about this on Facebook Live June 12th at 7 p.m. Okay, so go ahead and you can actually follow us over there. What I would do is I will link down to that boot camp on June 12th at 7 p.m. in the show notes, and you can actually, go ahead and RSVP your spot there to come hang out with us on Monday at 7 p.m. where we cover all the things that you need to know about the VA loan and talk about how military relocation is a thing as well too. And if you're just relocating at period, this is still somewhere you may want to actually come and check out, because we talk about this on a deep dive with all the things that's going on in the Hampton Roads marketplace and how to prepare yourself for actually relocating to the area, whether you're military or not. We are going to be here for you. But definitely, if you are a VA if you are eligible for the VA loan, you definitely want to check this out. And if you know someone who's eligible for the VA loan, go ahead and share this information with them as well too, so that way they can come out and get the information that they need. And we look forward to seeing y'all there. But let's just get back to investing. Okay, let's talk about our investing here, and that's really what's important to talk about as well. Is just to show what we was looking at when it came to investments here. So when it comes down to multifamily homes, you have 1 new listing in the whole Hampton Roads area, okay? And then you have 3 pending and 1 sold. Now, the crazy thing is with that 1 new listing, it was actually, let's see if I can actually pull it up, what it was actually of. Let's see, multifamily, and it was 1 new listing here. And it was in Norfolk. Okay, so it was in Norfolk, and it's actually going to require a lot of work. It's a $69,000 home. I'll share it with you here, actually. It's listed by Bill Eisman of Long and Foster. So shout out to Long and Foster here. I'm about to bring this up, but actually putting this listing out to the marketplace. So let's see if I can stop sharing my screen there and then bring my screen up here. And I'll bring that listing up for you here. Boom. Okay, so can you see the photos? There you go. Boom. All right. So, like I said, it's a $69,000 home, but you see, it's actually really trashed out. So, this is an investor's dream for a lot of people, right? You'll have to do some cleaning up, obviously, to get it in good shape, to start getting the bones of this home together. But then you can actually turn this into a nice rental property if you're able to, do some of the work yourself or hire a contractor to come through here. This is actually in Norfolk, like I said. But $69,000 is actually on the market for one day. And yeah, that's what it is. That's what it looks like. So let's actually just basically hope that this talk about what's going on here. And I hope that this is one of those things where you found value in this content so far. So let's talk about price reductions here. So if you found value, definitely hit the like button. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so that way you can always learn more about things going on in Hampton Roads. And anything that's dealing with moving to Norfolk, we release at least one neighborhood tour each week here. You may find some weeks where there may be multiple, but for the most part, you're going to find one neighborhood tour across the Hampton Roads area where we go on a deep dive of what that neighborhood looks like and the things that goes with that neighborhood as well. But let's just talk about price reductions, okay? And I bring this up is because I've seen a home over in Suffolk when I was looking at the withdrawn listings. This was an actual withdrawal listing, okay? I won't be talking about the address, and I won't disclose who listed it, but we will talk about the mechanics of what I've seen here, okay? And this is sometimes where I think we need to make sure that we talk about these type of data points, because you as a seller, or even dealing with someone who is thinking about selling their home, sometimes we get so caught up in what we see mainstream media talk about, or what we see our friends sell their homes for, our co-workers talk about how great their agent did of a job on selling their home. And agents are agents, right? But some agents are cut above the rest. And in certain cases too, sellers don't make it easier for agents. And I would never say that we can't all work together, but sometimes you just got to know the expectations, right? And sometimes not knowing the expectations can put you in a harder position than actually going out to the marketplace and helping someone sell their home for the best value possible. And I'm gonna show you an example of that here, right? I'm just gonna talk about this. That was a home that was listed in Suffolk, Virginia. And it was actually listed for $624,900. Now, this was listed on May 4th. And I bring that up at that price point because when I saw this listing at that price point, I actually went to try to see the comparables. Where were the comparables that came up with that price? And the reason why you're like, well, Craig, well, okay, so $625,000. Now, this home, just for the schematics of it, because if you listen to anything I talk about here, you already know I like to make sure you have all the details about what's going on in Suffolk, at least right now, because that's what we're doing a lot of our neighborhood tours at. But this home was a 5-bedroom, 3 full bath, 2,904 square feet, okay? And the community that it's in, I won't disclose the community, but I will say that we have not done a neighborhood tour on this video yet, on this neighborhood yet, which is one should be actually get ready to take place, because I've been looking at this neighborhood like a lot on the MLS lately, so we definitely need to get one done for it. But where it's located at, it's close to the Nasman River, but it does not have waterfront views, okay? And it's smaller than the ones that did have waterfront views. As a matter of fact, as I talk about this, I get a little bit more in details. I will show you one that did recently sell there, okay? Is it on here? It may not be on this list, but there is one that actually recently sold there, and it is, let's see if I can pull that up here. That is, give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull this up so you can see what I'm talking about here. Let's see, and it was, boom, boom. All right, cool. And it was this one right here. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen again and show you this home. And this home was a 6-bedroom actual. This home was listed by Jamisha Collins over at Atlantic Sotheby's International. Shout out to them as well. But this home was actually a 6-bedroom, 4-bath, 3,272 square feet. All right, and it's listed basically in the same neighborhood. And this actually closed on April 21st, and it sold for it's under contract right now, so it's pending at $620. Now, why is that important to note that that's pending at $620? Well, this home, what I just told you the specs was, as actually less in that home, right? So if you're looking at a comparable, to me, this home that's actually for 20, that's actually on this was not waterfront as well, and it's bigger. It's 6 bedrooms, 4 baths, 3,200 square feet, and the other home was 5 bedrooms, 3 full baths, 2,900 square feet, and it's actually was listed at a higher price than that home. Okay. So now on May 15th, that home went from 624.9 to 599. So it went down to $600,000. Well, without talking to the agent, and this is all speculation. It's not her hyperbole though, but it is all speculation. This is what I like to tell clients as you talk to clients. Okay, the market, if you decide to go price aggressively, super high, because you think that you gotta have that same price point that your neighbors had, and you think it's justifiable in your mind, but the agent or the realtor his job is to, basically set the expectation of what can you get for your home. And then what usually typically happens is either the market dictates from there, well, it doesn't see that value, or the market actually dictates that value is even higher. And that's typically what we're looking to do. Now, as agents, what you need to do is to have to lock in that price a little bit here. So that way, the expectations can be met for the buyer's expectations and for the seller's expectations. But after 11 days on the market, that house was dropped from $25,000, basically, right? $25,000. So that was the biggest price cut. And then, what it looks like to me is that the conversation was at the certain, we'll price, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we'll price it at the price that you think that the home should be valued at. But after a certain amount of days, we need to drop this price down to keep interest in this home and get the right buyers into this home. Okay, everybody with me, right? So then after that, let's talk about 11 more days later, 22 days into this house being listed on the market. It goes from $599 to $598, a $1,000 in decrease. After we already went $25,000, that was a $1,000 decrease. Now, why would this home only go down $1,000 more? And this is why I think that this is an interesting tactic here, because if you're understanding, like if you're using, a lot of buyers, they use Zillow, they use Redfin, Open Door, whatever, homes.com. They use all these search-based engines to actually tap into what homes are available in the marketplace. One of the things that a lot of people try to do or think about is that they're trying to, reach those price points that certain buyers are actually in. When you go down to $1,000 though, and everyone has already visited this home, and they only see that you didn't get the action that you needed on a $25,000 price point drop, if you decrease by $1,000, no one is getting out of bed, to me, in my opinion, and running down the street to go look at this house again and think that this may be the one they're going to put a deal in on. And Craig, how could you determine that? Well, let's check this out. So after those 22 days of being on the market, 29 days, it drops from $598 to $597, $500. So now we just dropped it another $500. Still, that home is not going to make anyone get up out of bed to come look at it, in my opinion, if they haven't already decided they wanted to buy it at $600,000 from a $625,000 price point. So to me, these micro adjustments in price is things that sellers have to understand, that you are selling a big asset, and you could start getting in these higher price points over $400,000. You kind of got to look at it as, okay, if I don't have anyone interested in my home right now to purchase it, what can I do? And they may have received contracts offers, but they may not just been the right deal for the seller. And these decreases, these smaller decreases, have not led to the right buyer showing up to put the right offer in for the seller. So you know what happens 6 days later, 35 days into this deal of this listing with the agent and the sellers and the agents withdraw the listing. Now, here's the crazy thing. They may be getting ready to relist this home at an appropriate price to get the marketplace excited about it again. But right now, 35 days in, you saw how the market didn't move. And I'm pretty sure when they made that $25,000 price deduction, it did get interest. But I bet you also what happened is that the marketplace still couldn't get to the value of where they was at, because of when you look at the comps in the area, that's a hard price point to get to. So my main point here is to take reductions into consideration if you're going to have to be a seller on the fence with a reduction in mind. Understand what you're asking for. And the best way I look at this is logically, like, okay, if you are going to a furniture store and you can go to the best furniture store in town and you can get this nice bed frame, $5,000, but they're only going to give you a $200 deduction on it. Are you really excited about that $200 deduction, or are you going to be really excited if you can get that bed frame for $3,000? And put that on anything that you want to look at. If you're looking at a Tesla, okay, like if you're looking at a Tesla, and right now, if you could buy a Model Y and it was 50 grand, but then they tell you right now you can actually, with all the incentives, buy a Model Y for 38 grand. You might have been excited about buying it at 50, but you were really excited about buying it at $12,000 less for 38. But that's the same things that applies to homes as well too. You got to kind of look at how is a buyer going to be incentivized to want to come see a home that they already passed on previously before, after a major deduction. Okay, those micro deductions don't help get the price of the home sold a lot of the times. And it's just, you got to be thinking forward thinking about, okay, how are these price reductions going to be systematically done to get to a level to where we get interest and a deal done and a number that the seller is willing to accept to sell their home as well too. So that's the other most important thing about it as well. Now, comment down below. Let me know, how do you feel about all the things I talked about when it came down to price reductions and things of that nature? And give me your thoughts on that. I would love to hear your feedback about it, and let's have a conversation and a topic about it as well too. But like I said before, one of the main things that I always look for is that you found value in this content. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like what all the things that we're bringing you and you want to be stayed up on the best information possible about what's going on with moving to Norfolk and relocating to Norfolk and all of Hampton Roads. You definitely want to bang that notification bell so that way you're always first to learn more information that we are able to provide you about what's going on in our part of the world. This has been your boy Craig Houston. I'll catch you in the next video. Y'all stay safe. Peace.